Hi everyone, Ali here and welcome to dedicated video on positioning background images on a web page. The video is part of background image playlist on Learn Awesome, which covers all aspects of handling background images in detail. So let's get started by going to Visual Studio Code, where we have a boilerplate HTML document linked to an external CSS file ready. So let me begin by adding a background image, and I'm going to stick with a small one to begin with. In case you are not following the playlist, the small one is a 50 by 50 pixel square and large one is 1024 by 768 pixel file. So here goes. I'm going to define a background image and URL would be /image/pg small, and I'm going to set the background repeat to no repeat. Let's see the result in our live preview extension. Let me turn this off and open the live preview extension. Okay, so as you can see, we have a background image. Note I used background repeat set to no repeat as we don't want a tiled image to begin with in this video. Keeping a single image helps demonstrate positioning more clearly. Now the CSS property we are going to play with in this video to control the positioning is background position. As you can see, it is not specified at the moment, but it is applied with a default value by the browser. So let's first see it in Chrome browser and then see how to specify it in our CSS. So now I have it open in Chrome browser. Let me do right click inspect, which is going to open our inspector or developer tools. And I'm going to head over to the body element. In the computer tab, we are going to see background image specified to our file, background repeat set to no repeat, and background position set to 0%, 0%. All right, let's go back to Visual Studio Code and continue. So let's try specifying the background position property, which controls the positioning to the same value as we saw. And I'm going to type 0%, 0%. And you see there's no change. So that was the default value that is applied by the browser. So the value of background position property, which you are seeing here, is known as position. Position defines an XY coordinate to place image relative to edges of the element's box. So position can be defined using 1 to 4 values. CSS provides you certain keywords that you can use as those values, or you can specify in units of measure of your choice like pixels, percentage, ems, or rems, etc. There's a lot of flexibility here, and understanding all the ways you can provide values is essential to use it productively. So let's try that, and I'm going to start by modifying the CSS to use the one value syntax. So I'm going to remove the 0%. So intuitively, we would expect 0% to mean 0%, 0%, but as we can clearly see over here, something went wrong immediately. So let's understand this and please pay attention. The behavior here is different from standard CSS syntax where a single value generally means same value applied for all sub-values. In case of background position, however, the single value only represents the X or horizontal value and not the vertical or Y value, which is fixed to center. This is really important to understand and would make sense as I introduce the keywords, but first let's understand the horrible impact it had on our presentation. So assuming the Y value is center, why was the image clipped mid-center with value 0%? Because body element is empty at the moment. If you are following the playlist, you would have seen such behavior with other background CSS properties already. Otherwise, understand that a body element width is defined by width of viewport of the browser, but it has no height as its height is defined by its contents. Since there are no contents, there is no height and hence the height is 0 pixels. And if I ask you to center an image on an element with height 0 pixel, what would you do? You would start the element midway, and that's exactly what we see over here. With that settled, let's add some content to avoid issues like this. So I'm going to add some content to the body element so to give it some vertical width. Well, it looks much better. Note a single character generally has a height of 1 em, which is equal to font size. And by em, I mean em, not the letter m. So 1 em is equal to the font size. Unrelated, for your information, the font size is generally 16 pixels by default, and the line height property, which determines the height a character row occupies, is slightly higher, like 1.2 times the font size. This is not a rule, so line height is slightly bigger than font size. So in our case, the line height or height of each character row in body element is approximately 18 pixels. So if you want to go into the detail of how a 50 pixel by 50 pixel image is showing up, you can do so as a fun exercise, but in interest of time, I would skip doing that. So coming back to background images, our main topic, the resulting document looks much better and we can clearly see it is stuck to the left edge and vertically centered as definition of single value implies. All right, let's try the same by changing the value to 50 pixels. Note again that with single value, we are now specifying the distance from left edge only in x direction. So image starts 50 pixels from left edge of viewport and is vertically centered because the second value is assumed to be center. You can also use M and rem and behavior would be pretty much the same. And note by default, 1M is 16 pixels or font size of current or parent element. So let me change this 50 pixel length value to 2M and let's see what the result is. All right, the image shifted slightly to the left because it would be around 32 pixels, but pretty self-explanatory. So let's end this unit of measure thing with a quick look at percentage unit of measure as well. So let's try out with 75%. All right, the background image now starts at 75% or 3/4 of width of the viewport from the left, exactly as it should. Or does it? Let's see if it is the case if I use the large image. So I'm going to use the large image, which in case you don't know, looks something like this. So you can see it's not exactly showing up as desired and it's not starting from the 75% marker from the left edge. So no, it's absolutely not behaving exactly as it should. Let's see it in Chrome as our viewport is too small here to show the complete picture. File, save all. And let's close this as well. All right, so now it's full screen. It's slightly off the left edge, but it is starting far, far away from 75% marker, which should be somewhere around here. So it's not starting where we expect it to. Now, I am so sorry for another head spinner, but it ain't my fault. So don't kill the messenger here. I didn't come up with these mind-boggling spinners. I'm just trying to explain and make you aware. So listen carefully. 75% does not mean the left edge of image is supposed to start from 75% of containing element's width. It means that the point that exists at 75% of the width of the element aligns with the point that is 75% from the left edge of the element. So, since I'm totally aware you were not able to absorb what I just said, I have reproduced this in written form and I'm going to read it loud and you can pause and take a deeper look. So 75% does not mean the left edge of background image is supposed to start from 75% of containing element's width, and containing element is the body element. It means that the point that exists at 75% of the width of the image aligns with the point that is 75% from left edge of the containing element, which is the body element. To put it in perspective, if a body element has a width of 1000 pixels and our background image also has a width of 1000 pixels, then 75% of body element is a point at 750th pixel of the viewport. So the browser would align it to the point in image at 75% of width of the background image, which is image pixel at 750 pixels. This means the image would not start even 1 pixel offset from left edge of the body element. It would fit perfectly within the body element. You must be wondering, how does that apply to our little star or the BG small image? Well, star is so small, we don't see that happening. The behavior is only visible with large images. That's why I showed you this example. So if you are trying to offset an image from the edge of the browser, here are the formulas to consider. This maths would help you avoid surprises, especially with large images, as percentage would have little to no effect if, say, image width or height is nearly equal to container width of height, as the first part of the equation would almost reach zero and any percentage multiplied by 0 remains 0. Right? You can pause and look at the formulas. I won't be going into the detail of the maths. It's self-explanatory. So one final word about percentages or any unit of measure is that negative values are totally allowed and you can use them to your advantage. Let's move away from this topic, otherwise the pain from you pulling your hair would not let you focus any further. So let's go back to Visual Studio Code. And let's see how the keywords behave. And note the behavior with keywords for single value would be slightly different. So please pay attention again. The keywords that can be used in single value include top, left, bottom, and right. So let's quickly try them out, starting with the value top. So I'm going to say top, and I'm also going to change the image back to small. All right, note keywords don't follow the vertically centered rule. They follow the what you see is what you get idea. So top means top. So image is going to stick to the top edge and centered in width. Bottom would be the mirror opposite, like this. See, the image sticks to the bottom edge of the body element and is horizontally centered. So now let's quickly try right. Right, this time it seems the image is stuck to right and vertically centered. But the definition with keywords is it is vertically centered along the specified edge. That's it. If you say right, you expect it to be on the right, and that is where it would be. Same from top, bottom, or left. It would be weird if you say top and image is hanging in the middle of the viewport. Hanging in the middle, well, there happens to be another keyword to make that magic happen, and it is called center. So let's try that as well. And as you can see, center means center horizontally as well as vertically. So contrary to single value in pixels, percentages, etc., keywords are very intuitive and do what they are supposed to do. Right, enough time spent on one value background position. Let's develop to two values and first let's understand what that formally means. So first let's see what happens if we use keywords this time. So I'm going to change it to, let's say, right top. So with this CSS, the image appears at top right, which is good. Right was used for x-axis or horizontal positioning, and second value was used to adjust the image vertically. So far, so good. So let's flip these and try. Top right is more easier to say, so I'm going to say top right, and the image still appears in the same place. This time, first value adjusting vertical position and second one controlling the horizontal one. What kind of magic is that? Well, it turns out it is magic. The magic of keywords. Keywords like left or right, if they appear first, define the first value to be x and the second value to be y. But if top or bottom appear first, then first value is y and the second value becomes x. In case you are wondering about center, it doesn't matter anyway. This settles keywords, but what happens if we mix them with length or percentage? Let's go over the rule first, and I quote from MDN as is. If the other value is left or right, then this value defines y relative to the top edge. If the other value is top or bottom, then this value defines x relative to the left edge. If both values are length or percentage values, then the first value defines x and the second value defines y. All right, I'm perfectly aware this did not make any sense at all. So I just reproduced this in written form again, so you can come back and refer to it after our examples. So let's go to our examples and try it out. Otherwise, it would never make sense. Let me change this top center to, let's say, 80 pixels top. All right, it worked just as expected, where it is 80 pixel offset from the left edge and sticking to the top end, right? If I change it, you can see. All right, now let's flip this and see what happens. All right, this time this did not work as expected. Didn't the rule say top is gonna define X or Y? The rule is meant to be defining what length or percentage mean with respect to which edge. The order matters and is clarified as a second rule, which I am going to read. So I added another rule from MDN and let's read it. When pairing length or percentage with a keyword, the placement is important. The value defining X should come first, followed by Y. So flipping is not allowed. You can pair keywords with length or percentages, but you must follow the order X followed by Y. All right, let's give it another try with another example. So write 75%. This time our CSS makes image stick to the right edge and 75% from the top edge. So I hope everything about mixing with keywords is clear by now. If you're not mixing and just using length or percentages, then it is straightforward and you just need to remember first value is X and other is Y or vertical. So let's give it a try. So I'm going to say 40 pixels and 75%. And as you have seen before, this is exactly where it should be. All right, that is settled. All right, finally, let's not forget one of the most used background position where we want image to be smack in the middle of the web page. So that is going to be center center. And this is going to bring image exactly in the center and it would be responsive. So if you change the width or height of the web page, it is still going to be exactly in the center. And in percentage terms, without using keywords, it's exactly the same as 50%, 50%. 50% from the left, 50% from the top. Perfect. Let's see what is the three value syntax now. Since 3 and 4 values are related, so let me introduce the combined rule as 2 out of 3 or 4 values are keyword values and length or percentage value is offset for the preceding value. First value is always keyword, left, right, top, or bottom. So this implicitly implies that the keyword is only going to appear at the first or third position, and it would be followed by a length or percentage value. Right? Let's go straight to example so we can understand this. Bottom 10 pixel right. Right here it starts with bottom followed by 10 pixel, which is offset for preceding value, that is bottom. The third value is the other edge. So this can be read as position image on bottom right and offset bottom 10 pixels from the bottom edge. What if we wanted to offset the image 10 pixels from bottom edge and 30 pixels from the right edge? Well, all you need to do is define an offset for right as 30 pixels. So we just explored the four value syntax and now image is at bottom right with 10 pixel offset from bottom over here and 30 pixel offset from right. In fact, this is not clear. Let me make it 30 pixels and see it goes way up. And again emphasizes about four value syntax is that first and third values are reserved to be keywords, and second and fourth values would always be length or percentage in this syntax. And first keyword can be any of left, top, right, or bottom. You don't need to worry about X first and vertical later, like in the two value syntax in this one. Right? Depending on offset, the image may well be far away from where keywords suggest. So let's give it a try. Bottom 10 pixel and right 75%. Now image is somewhere around bottom left and it is far away from the right edge in horizontal direction like a wholesome 75% away. Point being, don't get used to reading it like this without keeping the side effects in mind. All right, let's explore one final example and I'm going to say right 3M bottom 40 pixels. Now it starts from right keyword and is 3M away from right edge. And recall that 1M is around 16 pixels by default unless overridden by a font size. And also image is 40 pixels away from bottom. So it appears somewhere around the top right, given our very small 5 character, one on each line body element. All right, this finally brings us to the end of our very mind-boggling video. I hope you were able to absorb at least some of it by now. If not, please keep practicing and watch again and follow along if you didn't already. This was one of the concepts that only settles in with practice and building muscle memory. If you think I did okayish or more in helping you grasp background image positioning, please do like and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe as I keep posting new videos. Please explore our channel, especially our playlist section where we have videos on various interesting tech topics which you may like. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.